everyone. So I'm out on another horse walk today with Romeo and Charlie, and I just wanted to have a little chat today about how important it is to really eat, consume, do things in as most natural a state as possible. Now, look, I'm walking past some other horses. I'd normally let them stop and say hello, but this fencing isn't very safe with horses. They can get their feet caught in it, so I'm going to try and keep walking. So my name's Catherine Edwards, and I'm just doing my little daily thoughts out in nature, which normally involve me being either with my horses or my dogs. And I'm going past a local deer park here, which is absolutely beautiful. The horses are able to say hello to some friends. And one of the things that you'll notice with your dogs and your horses is they'll always they'll go for different things. If they're selecting grass or herbs or things like that, you'll really notice that they're very picky about which ones they select. They know whether another animal's weed on them. They know whether it's at the right stage for its development. They know if it's got too many certain sugars in, if you give them the choice. There comes the issue. How often do we actually give ourselves or animals the choice? Look at little Charlie, who's mid-30s, and he's going to beat me down that hill. So I might just stop here for a minute because it might be quite hard for me to record whilst I'm going down the field. This is their old field they used to be in, so they'll probably miss that a bit. So one of the things that we've got quite disconnected from is our food sources at the moment. And as soon as you pick an apple, some grass, I'm always picking grass for my guinea pigs, and the herbs for the horses and for ourselves and things. But as soon as you pick something, it starts to decay, it starts to die. You've disconnected it from its life force. And some vegetables and herbs are much more susceptible to that than others. So the idea that when you're working with food, with herbs, with natural remedies for yourself or your animals. Oh, they're so pretty. Look how beautiful Romeo is. Look how beautiful Charlie is. Let me have a look at Charlie. Is to really try and learn as much as possible about when the best time to harvest them is. If you can, eat straight off the bush, straight from your garden. You can't go down there, Romeo, that's a footpath. And let your animals do the same. So the reason why I spend so much time out letting my horses and dogs forage in nature, it's beautiful and sunny here, is to let them pick what they need. They know what their bodies need to rebalance way better than I do. And it'd be different for all of them and different at different times of the year. So I practice something called applied Zoopharmacognosy, which is animal self-medicating. And we can do this ourselves as well. But we only do it with real food and real herbs. And if you don't know what a herb is, think weeds. And most of the things we're told are weeds are actually herbs. So here in the background, Romeo's self-selecting some bramble leaves. Charlie's not so much at the moment because he hasn't got many teeth left. So he has to be a little bit more picky about what he can actually have now. It's just his age. So Romeo's going to take off what he wants for suddenly disappear really quickly. You know why. But it's such great fun when you start experimenting and watching what your animals take and then learn from them. We all know that we can pick 2 apples off a tree and they can be vastly different, because the beautiful thing about nature is no 2 apples, no 2 plums, no 2 nettles, no 2 cleavers are the same. They're unique. And depending where they grow, they'll have different nutrients in them. Depending how much stress they've been under when they grow, they'll have different essential oils and medicinal compounds in them. And that's how we're meant to work with our food and our medicine. And when you start using things in their whole state, you get all the buffering capacity as well. So sometimes we need to take what's called isolates, and that's to address certain conditions, or if they're things that don't grow in our part of the world, or it's tricky to get access to, because obviously a lot of the natural herbal remedies that we used to work with and natural products, it's not just plants, it's also clays and charcoals and things like that, aren't necessarily available to us now. But actually, so sometimes we have to get them from elsewhere. But one of the things that's really, really great for all us to do is to learn how to really preserve some of nature's wonders for the winter and for different times of the year when you need them, so that you can really have things with most of their medicinal properties kept in them for when you need them. So I think learning about what you've got in your environment is one of the most important things that you can do. I'm laughing because Romeo and Charlie want to go off in different directions, and I'm just asking them to wait a minute because the paths are very narrow. I can't really film and walk them down the narrow paths at the same time. But looking at what I'd really encourage everyone to do, wherever you live in the world, obviously get out in nature to do this whenever you can, perhaps at the weekend. You've got, those of you in America have got Thanksgiving coming, so hopefully you'll have some time off, a little few days holiday. It's really interesting to go out in nature and start documenting. You know, you can get some brilliant phone apps now. What are some of the things that you've got growing near you? And then do a little bit of research for them and really have a look at those and see, does this match anything that I'm struggling with at the moment or that any of my animals are struggling with? And just really start to get to know what's in your environment, because I can guarantee there'll be things there that you'll find really useful. And then the next stage you can do is look at, okay, let me look at how I can preserve that or dry it or make a macerate from it or a tincture or a tea. There's so many different ways we can do this, or a tonic. It's such good fun learning this. Obviously there's lots of resources. This is something I'm really passionate about. But the first step is always go out and have a look at what's around you. And I have so many people that sort of say, oh, I've only got nettles and brambles and dandelions around me. And I'm like, right, let's have a look at what's in those, what's in the roots, what's in the leaves, what's in the flowers. And people are just blown away. Sometimes the most common things that we've all heard of have got the most benefits and are just what you need. So I'm going to leave it at that today. Little Charlie in the background there, he's so cute, and Romeo here. And I'm going to go and let them select what they need, get out there, start picking, rebalancing themselves. Good for the mind, body and soil. When we give ourselves and our animals the opportunity to choose what we need and choose what we want, then everything starts to work in harmony. Let me know what you think, and if you'd like to know a little bit more about herbal remedies and things like that, please just comment herbs below so that I know whether this is the type of content you'd like to find out more about. In addition, by just making a little comment, hitting that like button and share, it really helps the algorithms and gets the information shown. So if you like it, please put herbs below. If you've got particular things you want me to talk about in terms of natural herbs, natural medicines within the remit of what I'm allowed to do on these platforms, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to do some work on that. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. And if you feel inspired, please do share with your friends and family. This helps us spread the word and also helps me encourage some exciting new guests to take part in this podcast. And above all, stay curious and stay free.